Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Dumb and Dumber, starring Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, Lauren Holly, Mike Starr, Karen Duffy, Charles Rocket, and Victoria Rowell, directed by the Fairley Brothers. Now, before I get into this, I have seen this before, but and sh- and is this my kind of humor? Well, maybe because after going through "Dude, Where's My Car" last time, I'm wondering if this will be my kind of humor, since I said that I like stupid humor. So let's see if this gets better or worse from when I was a teenager. Let's get into the movie. We open with Lloyd Christmas, played by Jim Carrey, driving by an Austrian woman in a limousine and is lost to pick up a woman named Mary Swanson, played by Lauren Holly, going to the airport to Aspen, Colorado, while the conversation is awkward and she loses a briefcase on purpose so that Joe Mantalino, played by Mike Starr, and his partner J.P. Shea, played by Karen Duffy, can pick it up as ransom. And I'll get to why later in the movie, as Lloyd picks up the briefcase and tries to bring it to the airplane itself, but it is too late and hurts himself. And he's dumb while Lloyd's roommate Harry Dunn, played by Jeff Daniels, drives a Mutz Cuts van that looks like a dog while driving some dogs to a show, and the person in the dog show is unsatisfied because of the mess and he's dumber, and they both get fired from their jobs, and none of this is working, making me laugh as much as Dude, Where's My Car? As I don't like how stupid they are on purpose because they're dim-witted idiots compared to the two stoners from Dude, Where's My Car? Maybe I'm just into stoners more than dim-witted idiots. This will get in funny a couple of times, but not as much as in my opinion. Lloyd and Harry get back home at the same time as they run away because Joe and Shay show up and try to get the briefcase back while killing their pet bird off screen. And Lloyd gets to the store to buy some beers and tries to break change for $1 and asks an old lady, or elderly lady, let's call her, on a motor scooter and robs him and gets back as Harry sees their pet bird is dead. And Lloyd wants to go to Aspen, Colorado to score with Mary, and they decide to make a road trip with the dog-looking van. And the movie's characters are completely unlikable, as this is much more stupid than Dude, Where's My Car, in my opinion. Lloyd sells their dead bird to a blind kid in a wheelchair behind Harry's back, and Joe and Shay see a note they left for the apartments while Harry and Lloyd are in a diner where Harry throws a salt shaker and a man named Seabass spits in Harry's burger, and they apologize for that behavior to buy the beers, as they also say to put their meal on their tab instead of buying them beers, and take further more than what Lloyd describes in a movie. And he urinates in one of the empty beer bottles and keeps going on every single bottle until a motorcycle cop pulls them over, not just because of how fast they're going, but it's illegal in Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, to have an open beer bottle, even though it's urine, and the cop drinks it and says, "Get the hell out of here," and they drive away. And how stupid are these people in this movie? As that is not very funny, as this is a bad sense of humor in my opinion. And I like slapstick sometimes, but just not that kind. Lloyd drives at night while Harry is asleep, and he thinks about how he delivers Mary's briefcase and gets to know her family with this bad sense of humor, and eventually getting together with her as a couple of beating up other men at a slapstick way in a restaurant, which is a little hypocritical of Jim Carrey because he says he doesn't like violence when he does slapstick violence and not promoting Kick-Ass 2, which was the movie he was in, for example. To me, feels pretty hypocritical of him until he almost kills both himself and Harry, and they stay in a hotel that feels like it's for couples. And Harry talks about his crush back in the day, Fletcher, something Fletcher. I forget the name off the top of my head, but I think she's in the second movie, if memory serves me right. Not the prequel, but the other one. We'll get there whenever we get there. As he was led to believe he was cheated on by by other men while Joe is on the phone with his boss, aka Nicholas Andre, played by Charles Rocket, on a phone booth, while some dumbass demands him to get off the phone until Joe punches the dumbass in the face, which makes him dumb enough to mess with Joe, while Joe gets an idea to ride with Harry and Lloyd, as he's pretending his car died, but he gets annoyed by Harry and Lloyd playing tag and making the most annoying sounds in the world. For example, like that, see? And singing some songs to which did make me laugh, as they pick up some natives on the side of the road, which is dangerous to pick up hitchhikers on the side of the road, until they stop at a restaurant, which makes the movie going back to stupid. Harry and Lloyd give some peppers to Joe after double daring Harry and Lloyd to eat some peppers, and unfortunately, Joe dies after his anger issues and leaves him behind, which is a very bad way to leave him in the restaurant while poisoned, while the cops show up saying they're going somewhere to Colorado, and they get followed by, and Harry talks with FBI agent Beth Jordan, played by Victoria Rowell, as she runs away from her boyfriend, which feels like a lie. And they're heading towards the same place, which is Aspen, Colorado, while Lloyd is attacked by Seabass and is knocked out, and not Lloyd, but Seabass is knocked out when Harry's on fire and puts it out on the toilet, which is bad enough to put yourself on fire in the first place, while lighting a cigarette at a damn gas station. And this movie is full of bad ideas for comedy purposes. Lloyd makes a wrong turn and they don't have enough money for food, a hotel, and to get to Aspen. And Harry decides to walk home from Colorado to Rhode Island, which is very far in where they lived. And Lloyd gets a bike and redeems himself as Harry. They're back on the road to the Aspen, Colorado, and they get there while it's cold. They look for Mary and freeze their butts off and get to an argument until they open the briefcase and see there's money in this. And the cinematography looks pretty bad in this movie from start to finish, in my opinion, from every single shot in this plain, stupid movie. They stay in a fancy hotel as well as grab a car from the money they had in the briefcase, and they learn Mary and her family are hosting a party and try on suits and get their manicures and pedicures done so they can get prepared to the party. And when they get there, Shay points out to Nicholas there's the ones who have their briefcase, as Nicholas is the mastermind who wants the money in their briefcase, as this feels like lazy writing in my opinion, as Lloyd tells Henry to talk with Mary, and Harry gets a date with Mary instead of Lloyd. And I hate this love triangle between Harry, Lloyd, and Mary. And the owls are killed by a cork, which is badly done because it's not funny at all. Harry meets with Mary and goes skiing together. They do anyways. As Harry's tongue is stuck like in a Christmas Story where the kid's tongue gets stuck but without a triple dog dare, and gets a frostbite as well as build a snowman while Lloyd is waiting for Mary at the bar. But he is encountered by FBI agent Beth Jordan, as the humor isn't working for me, like Lloyd burping obnoxiously. Oh, jeez. As she'll talk with him and while waiting for a couple of hours for Mary, and Lloyd doesn't give a crap what Beth has to say at this point until the bartender brings up Mary as a regular who has dinner where he's at and gets the address and goes straight to the house and sees her with Harry. And at this point, I just don't care, as the movie is very unnecessary. Lloyd decides to give Harry a drink with Turbolax while Harry is going to Mary's place for dinner, and he's on the way and his stomach is acting funny, like he has to go to number 2 in the restroom, and he's in one for the flusher. And one with the flusher that doesn't work, the toilet I mean, while Lloyd laughs about it, which makes me think Lloyd is the mastermind of evil. While would you remain friends with him after treating Harry so badly, while Lloyd goes to the house and tells her he has her briefcase and takes her to the hotel room, as she tells Harry they'll have to do it again some other time, and ditches him, and Lloyd brings Mary to the hotel room, which is creepy and inappropriate in so many levels. Lloyd tries to make sweet love to Mary, and she says there's no chance of them getting together as a couple until Nicholas comes to the door about some news about her husband and points a gun at Lloyd because all his money is gone, and Nicholas takes them hostage. And while Harry bumps into Beth, and they'll learn she's a cop and slaps a bulletproof vest and walks in the middle of the situation, and Harry wants to get shot while being held hostage, and Lloyd says, "You killed my best friend, you bastard," which made me laugh. And the FBI come in after Harry wakes up and shoots Nicholas. And why did he want the money? Because he wanted to get out of the country and make himself look rich. That's never explained well enough. And misses quite a bunch of Nicholas and Shay get arrested, and Mary's husband Bobby meets Harry and Lloyd as they both do not get the girl, and they walk back to Rhode Island and see a bus of models in bikinis, and they point out them in one direction and pointed to another direction, and credits roll while they're playing tag with each other. And the climax was not funny nor satisfying, but we'll see how unsatisfied I was in a rating. I'll give this movie a 4.3 out of 10. There were a couple of times it was funny, but other than the two things I laughed at in the movie, this movie isn't that funny, as this is more of a stupid movie for a movie called Dumb and Dumber. It's called Stupid and Stupider. The cinematography looked bad from start to finish. And again, instead of Dumb and Dumber, this movie's called Stupid and Stupider, as this is a stupid movie with every single unlikable character throughout, and the writing in this is lazy. And the Farrelly brothers have made some funny movies, but this unfortunately isn't one of them, which is sad to me. The movie is full of bad ideas for comedy purposes, as it doesn't make me laugh. And I know I'm going to get crap thrown at me because I did laugh a couple of times, but it just wasn't funny to me, as I like Dude, Where's My Car much better than this. As this is a mild non-recommendation, as this movie is unnecessary. So I'll be back next time with Dumb and Dumber when Harry met Lloyd next time. And until then, you're it.